I will get to the nitty gritty. And thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. So, how long have you worked as a bail bond agent?
Uh, 10 years. 10 years.
10 years. Okay. And always for this company that you're at right now?
Yes.
Okay. And do you own the company or an employee? What's the situation?
Own with a partner.
Own with a partner. Okay. And how did you come into to be in this line of work? What's the backstory?
Um, it kind of fell in my lap because I was on taxes. I have a degree in accounting and one in management, and I wasn't at this location, and the location that I was at is right about a mile down the street, and it was a front office and a back office. In the front office they did taxes, in the back office they did bail bonds, and so they were about to close the bail bonding company down, and I said, well, I want to try it, and called my boss in Longview, and he kind of, my personal opinion is he's a male chauvinist pig. So then, but we love him now. But my sister's in the background. You do, yeah. He's good. He has my back on things and everything. But I called him and asked him, will you give me a chance? And so he said, yeah, we were getting ready to close the office down. I said, I was born and raised here, so I know a lot of people. Let me, give me a chance. And my dad had done it for a little while we were growing up. And so I guess that's why I got interested. And so he let me try it, and the next month I was rocking and rolling. And don't ask me no tax questions now, because that's not what I do. So, once I got into this business, I really loved it. I love my job.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then, so you said your dad did it a little bit when you were growing up, so you kind of already had a sense of what it was?
Yeah, a little bit. But it's really hard if you have not been a criminal or engaged in that kind of stuff. It's work to figure out how everything works. And when I got here, there was one client, period, and so they were typing on typewriters to do this. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not typing all of this. So I computerized everything, and now all the companies use my spreadsheets to do their monthly reports and everything.
Wow. So yeah, when you got there, you really elevated the scene.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I ramble, so you have to keep me online.
No, I will. This is good. As much as you're willing to talk to me, tell me, I'll take it.
Okay.
Is this your primary occupation, or do you do something else, or?
Well, this is it.
Okay.
This is it.
Okay.
And we're located right downtown Liberty. And when I'm sitting at my desk, I can look at the courthouse, 2 blocks from the jailhouse. And next question, or
yeah, okay.
I didn't tell me if I answered your question.
No, you did. Absolutely.
Okay.
So, what was your training process for becoming an agent? Because I know you said you had worked at this company where half was tax, half was bonding. But did you have to get any certification, or was it just learning on the job?
No, it was a self-trained on-the-job thing. They gave me an idea, but no one ever came and showed me how to do the job. But I need to know everything. I need to know everything a man knows. So therefore, I did homework, and we're here. I had my sons go out to the different places and post cards, flyers on cars at the Walmart, go to apartment complexes, and do some pin-ups where you could tear the name and number off. So I did that around the county, and we've been in business ever since.
Ever since 10 years.
Yeah.
Now, what's the thing that you like most about your job?
I like helping people. I like being able to say, okay, first of all, I really do enjoy helping people. I like my paycheck most of all. And getting to see the inside of how the judicial system works is breathtakingly ugly.
Mm.
So that's one of the things that I like, because I can see the inside, whereas just the average person would have no idea how dysfunctional the judicial system is, how unfair it is.
Right. And knowing that and seeing that, what sustains you?
Because if I don't do it, there are 3 other bonding companies in this area, and I don't think they treat the blacks fairly. So I represent everybody, but my concerns are my people.
Right.
You know, they get taken care of, because normally companies want to just take your money, and as soon as you miss calling in or miss just a little step, as long as you make it to court, you're good. But if you miss the call-in, they're immediately going to revoke your bond. Whereas, no, if I can get in touch with you but not calling in or whatever, as long as I have a good contact, then I'm good. And I think they take advantage of the system by taking the people's initial money and then jumping off their bond.
Okay. So
and then the increases the bond. Some of the judges increase the bond when I surrender a bond and say I don't want to be the bondsman anymore, or it may stay the same, but they're going to pay somebody else again for the same bond.
Oh, I see. Okay, so if one company relinquishes it, you have to start the process over again.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It does. So that's starting financially over again.
Right.
And it may be at a higher rate.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you said with your company, you show leniency, and you don't just go off of somebody as soon as they miss it.
No.
Okay.
I'm more of an emotional person. Piss me off, then you're going to have some problems. As long as you're paying me, because we do payment plans, I'm pretty good. You know, I don't keep up the payment plans, and the majority of my customers, probably 90% of my customers, I know, or my children know.
Okay.
Black, white, everybody, because we grew up here. So.
I see.
Yeah, we know most of the people, and if we don't know them, look at Facebook, you're going to know somebody that does know them.
Right.
Unless we do an out-of-state bond.
Okay. And what about the reverse? What do you think you like the least about your job?
Seeing the courts just screw over the blacks. I hate that the judges don't hold the police officers accountable for these bogus stops. Your light was dim, and they pull them over. Just driving while black, you get pulled over. It's ridiculous things that they do to entrap people. Now, I'm not saying the defendant is not wrong. He had drugs on him, but you didn't do the right thing to catch him.
Right.
Randomly pulling over people, searching them, and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know if the dog even knows is a real narcotics dog, because the police will tap on the trunk or wherever they feel like the drugs are. That's when the dog's going to bark or spit or whatever he does. And it's not. Here in Liberty County, they make it up as they go. They off as they go.
And that's never good.
No, it's not. And I see a lot of the paperwork, and a lot of clients might say, "Can you put this in my folder?" And you looking at the paperwork, the warrant that they had wasn't a sufficient warrant, but the judge signed off on it. Now they have to uphold it because the judge signed off on it, which the 3 judges we have expect you to do due diligence. when you're doing something. So they're relying on the officers to give them accurate information and all of that. And that doesn't happen.
I see. So it's a lot happening behind those closed doors. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about, walk me through a typical shift. What are the tasks you perform on a daily basis?
Okay, a typical shift is we come in the mornings when we get here without corona. We get here in the mornings, and I either have to go, me or my secretary has to go to the, like if I'm surrendering somebody's bond, I'm going to go and get the paperwork is done the day before, and then we have to go get it verified and get the judge to sign off on it. We call individuals to let them know you have court on such and such date. And then the day before they have court, we contact them again to make sure that they're going to be in court. One of us may be, you getting phone calls for people wanting to get out of jail. They call us collect, or they call, and we start on bonds first in the morning. And then just the rest of the day, you're doing paperwork. Maybe going to the courthouse or going to the jailhouse. But it's paperwork to keep up with everybody, where they are, and that type of thing.
Okay. Okay, so you said paperwork, doing bonds, calling people, reminding them of court dates. Okay.
Dealing with the courts all day long.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it's natural. It becomes a natural thing for you.
I see, once you get used to it. Okay. And to get a feel for the demographic of people who use your services, can we backtrack the last 5 people you've bailed out? And for each one, just their age, roughly, race, and sex.
Okay, let me look.
Sorry, I'm making you think.
Let's see. Darlene. Oh, I can look in the system. Hold on. Never mind. Give me just a second. Have you put McClinton in? I'm going to look on an inmate list. Okay. Oh, okay. This is a black male, age 43, and 2 drug cases.
Okay. And this was his first time with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. The next one would be...
Oh, I'm sorry. While we're on him, who did he have a cosigner?
Yes.
Okay. What was that relation? Like a mom, a brother?
It was his mother.
His mom. Okay. All right. Who else you got?
I'm trying to get to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to rush you. You take your time.
Okay. Okay. White female, age 27. My first time bonding her, a drug charge.
Okay. And she had a cosigner?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Let me see if she's in the... I don't think Darlene put these in. Yeah, no, these haven't been put in the system yet. She did have a cosigner, and I'm trying to think of who it was. I think that was her boyfriend that came in.
Okay.
Okay, the next one. Okay. Okay, the next one is black male, 20 years old, and drug possession.
Okay. And he was a repeat with you or a first time?
First time.
Okay. And cosigner?
Uh, I think his dad came in co-signed for him.
Okay.
Okay, then. Okay. This is a white male, 20 years old, and is possession of marijuana.
Okay.
And his wife came and got him a girlfriend.
Okay. And he was a first time with you?
Uh-huh.
All right. And one more, if you have it in you.
Okay, let me go back. Let's see now. Another white male, 25 years old. Okay, he's a repeat offender, not necessarily with me, but he has a long history.
Okay.
And it was burglary of a building.
You said burning a building?
Burglary.
Burglary. Okay.
And that was Cleveland. Just, yeah.
His cosigner was who?
That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do that. Okay, was his mother.
His mom. Okay. So yeah, like you said, a really diverse group. And that's just the last 5 people you rounded up.
Yeah.
So what do you need to know about a client before you make a decision? Bless you.
A lot of times I want to know. I'm gonna look and see if they've had miscourt in the past, which is bond forfeitures. If they had any bond forfeitures, I want to judge to see if they have family. Where do you live, and how long have you been there? The rap sheet, if I do a background on him, I want, see how much trouble he's in. I want to know if you're on probation or parole. And whether I know you or not. I'm going to look at your Facebook page and all that kind of stuff to see who you're friends with and who do we have any friends in common?
Oh.
So I have means of contacting you if you give me bad information.
Got you. Okay, so Facebook, so I know who your people are. I know I can find you. But what do those other things mean? So why is family important?
Because if I can't find them, Normally they're not going far away from their family.
Mm.
If they have kids, I want to know what daycare they go to or what school they go to. When they fill out the application, which this is afterwards, but when they do fill out the application, the cosigner and the defendant, I need to know who their kids are, where they go to school or daycare, and who their spouse is, and contact people. I want 10 references because I want to be able to get in touch with you if I need to. And in those 10 references, somebody's going to tell me where you are in case I'm in the bounty hunter.
Absolutely. Okay. So expanding that contact. What about is the home address or where they live the same thing, so to be able to find someone if you need to?
Yes.
Okay. And what about probation or parole?
If they're on probation or parole, a lot of times when the weekend hits, if you get arrested on the weekend, you're trying to get out before Monday morning so they don't put a parole or a probation hold on you. The bad thing about that is either they're going to report to their probation office or parole officer that whatever incident they're in happened, or they're not going to report at all. So when I get in touch with them or whatever, if they messed up with parole, they don't want to go back to prison.
Right.
So then you kind of fighting with them to get them in.
I see. So is being on parole sort of like just another contact point, or
Yes, if they're on parole, it's a contact point, and if they're on parole, I can look up their history and know whether they went to court when they were out before. So that lets me know whether or not they've completed jump on or anything else. That's just going to say it on the reports.
Okay. That makes sense. And have you ever agreed to a bond for somebody who didn't necessarily have these criteria you're listing out?
Yes.
Okay. And what made that person different?
Family. If I knew the family, they didn't have to have, for instance, collateral. If I'm asking for collateral, or do they have something, I need to be able to see it. If you don't have it, then all of that's part of judgment of whether it's going to be a good bond or a bad bond. I forgot the question.
Oh, you were getting to it. I'd asked you, so you said that you had bonded somebody out before who didn't meet these criteria.
And then I'm looking at what happens is I'll get a bill because they were arrested in like California, and I'll get a $3,000 bill because the authorities had to go to California to pick them up, Florida or somewhere. So that's why if you don't get the good information to begin with, it's no telling where you'll be picking up a client from.
I see. And what about the reverse? So have you ever decided, no, I'm not going to bond this person out, even though they maybe had those things?
Oh, no. I can look. A lot of times you can look at an individual, and that's wrong, but you can look at an individual's record. Well, that's what we go by, is your record. I can look on that and say, he forfeited somebody else's bond, or he already owes us money. There's so many different reasons that you're going to say no. Like right now, we normally do 50% down, if 10% of whatever your bond is. We do half down, but during Corona, we've been trying to get the whole thing, because next month when your payment is due, you're going to say, I haven't worked because of Corona. I need money now. So we've made decisions not to get people out during this time because they don't have all the money. And normally we do a payment plan. You pay half down and make payments on the other half. But for the last 3 months, no. If it's somebody that I know, maybe, but just somebody calling from the jail saying, I want to get out, I got the money, or for the money, no.
Right, because payment plans is just a bit risky right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And speaking of like risky things, are there any other like red flags is a strong word. But I know you said like if they haven't paid somebody else before, if they haven't paid you before, that's a no. Are there any other things that signal
Their history. If if yeah. Uh, See, one thing is, if you're from out of county, if you don't live in Liberty County or in Texas, then I have to get authorization before I do your bond. And more, if sometimes it's not worth all the paperwork and the headache that I'm going to get when I call my boss or part. So,
And that is that just because like being a flight risk maybe or not being able to find them or
flight
what?
risk.
Okay.
Some places are worse than others. Sometimes I might like Shreveport, Louisiana. Okay, one of our offices in Texas is near the border of Shreveport. So, oh yeah, no, my boss is automatically like, oh yeah, no, that's not far from Long. We got it, so we can go look for him.
I see.
So your location, you not having a home address, you can't come and tell me you homeless, but you want out of jail. I got the money, but I'm homeless. No. Because how am I going to find you when I'm looking for you?
Exactly. Okay. So for you, like being able to find this person is like
Urgent
okay.
is number one. Number one.
Okay. That makes sense. They gotta show up at court. I hear you. Okay. So now in thinking about so right now we just talked about like in the general, but now I want you to think about one individual who was like a particularly good client in your opinion. And just describe what were they like? What was it like the day they came in? Like why do they stand out in your mind?
Um, let's see, somebody. We have a lot of good clients. What stands out is they come in with their money, they pay, they call in. That's a good client. And when you're trying to get in touch with them, you have no problem.
Okay. And is there a type or do you notice a pattern among these people, like the ones that call in, that check in, that pay on time?
Yeah, they're more apt to go to court because a lot of times, a lot of times, these people may not, especially if they don't feel that they were wrong. Well, then they're gonna make sure that they go to court. And a lot of people want to be heard. I need to be heard on this case, so they're going to court, waiting on that court day, their day in court. So.
I see. And is that something that you can tell when you first agree to the bond, or is it just kind of luck of the draw?
It's luck of the draw. But kind of now, it's just really repeat offenders. There's so many repeat offenders. You get new clients, but you have so many repeat offenders, and you already know, okay, yeah, he's going to pay, he's going to court, he's going to call in. Cool. And so you do them automatically because you know they're going to take care of their business. There are other clients that I see every day that you can't get a bond. I'm not doing your bond, period, because you owe me money, because you didn't go to court or something. You violated me in some way that can't bond you out.
I see. So when it's almost as if people are establishing credit, or everything you do is
Yeah.
kind of a okay.
Yes.
That makes sense. And what about the opposite? So is there one person who just like gave you a headache, or was a I hate saying bad, but was just not a great client?
Um. Yeah, I had one client that I was calling him for court, and he hung up in my face.
Oh.
Okay, and he was an engineer. He was from Beaumont. He worked here in one of the offices in Liberty, and the headquarters was in Beaumont. And this guy ended up, when I sent the bounty hunters after him, he ended up being arrested with a grenade in his hand, like an engineer.
Are you serious?
Don't hang up in my face. Don't. I get really furious over a person just hanging up in my face. And then after he hung up in my face, I looked at my sister. She said, well, he hung up in the other secretary's face. Y'all didn't tell me, because I would have done something immediately, because he wasn't planning on going to court.
What?
Yeah. So by the first time they went after him, the bounty hunters went after him. He stopped at a stop sign, and they opened his car door. Then they saw an empty holster on the floor. So they automatically closed the door and left, and called the police, and the police came out. But this was a DWI, and the first time. So therefore, it was a misdemeanor. You can't intrude in somebody's house on a misdemeanor. It has to be a felony.
I see.
So once he showed a gun, once he did all of this and evaded arrest with the police, then it became a felony. So he went to jail anyway.
Siobhan, where was he going with the grenade?
When the pictures on the internet has him with a vest on with the grenade in his hand.
Oh, my
he had
goodness.
pen and everything. So he was just waiting to throw it. And this was over a misdemeanor, not a felony. This was a probation thing. Stop drinking and driving.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was probably one of the worst clients that I had.
And I'm just thinking, so if you hadn't called and got the warrant put out, you might have saved somebody's life.
Yeah, he was an engineer, really weird, white guy, older white guy. He was really just weird when I got him out.
You never know with people, my God. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah. And I was sitting at my desk while the bounty hunters were out. They were just live streaming it for me. But that's the worst case. And I don't know if you remember the Cleveland guys, the black guys that supposedly raped this teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 19 different people. And one of my clients, the district attorney, taunted him, assistant district attorney taunted him during the lunch break. And we got him for life. He gonna do life. Well, when he went to lunch, he never showed back up because the guy taunted him. And I was asking him, why didn't you show up? Well, they found him at his mom's house. He went somewhere to his house and then went to his mom's house, and they caught him within, I think, the next day.
Wow.
Accidentally pulled his mom over, and she told. So he was taken into custody and got 99 years.
For taunting. Wow.
And but that's common here. The the prosecutors taunt the individuals, and it's just not uncommon. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get 50 years out of you. I'm getting 20 flat, that kind of stuff, and it's just. We are in Redneckville. This is it's not good. It's just.
It doesn't sound like it. Well, I'm glad you and your sister are there doing your part for the black community, because,
Yeah.
And now I'm wondering, have you ever gone off a bond or ended an agreement with the client?
Yeah, I'll get off a bond. I'm calling you and I can't find you. Then, or all your contacts checked everywhere and I can't find you in a jail or anything. Yeah, okay, I'm done with you. You're not calling in. I don't have a good number for you. So that's surrendering a bond. And or else I'll surrender a bond if you're in jail somewhere else. Because one of the stipulations of our contract is that you not be rearrested. Most of the time, if they're going to be out of jail by the time their court date is here, if I know this person is going to be in Liberty County, then it's no sense in me getting off the bond until I see something going on. Like that he might be trying to get out, or it's if they have been a good customer, paid their bills and called in, and they get rearrested for something else, well, no, I'm not going to surrender their bond. I may even bond them out a second time. So.
Okay. And what's the issue with that? Like, if you get rearrested, you can't show up to court, or?
No, the issue with you being, if you're arrested, like, for instance, in another county, you're not going to make it to my court date. So in order for me to save money, I have to go ahead and surrender your bond after incarceration. So the judge will know he's not just missing court, he's incarcerated somewhere else.
I see.
And with Liberty, if they're in here, I still have to, depending on what our relationship is or what we've established, may surrender your bond. Like if I see that you're on a $100,000 bond, you're not getting out. Let me just go ahead and get rid of my paperwork, and I'm done with that, because he or she may not be getting out at all.
Right. Okay. And to surrender a bond, is there a fee you have to pay, or no? Okay.
No, but if I surrender a bond and, let's see, person's in jail, and when they go pick them up, if I don't surrender it, if they go to pick him up, I have to pay that bill for them picking him up.
Okay.
Court cost. And if I don't get them in time, I'm facing 100%, meaning if I did a $10,000 bond, then the courts may ask me for $10,000 plus court costs, transportation. So it's, when people miss court, it's not free.
Oof.
I have to pay.
Okay. And so now I understand why finding them is so important, checking in, because it's a lump sum.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And even if everything works out and I can get them, I have 70 days. I have 180 days if it's a misdemeanor to get them back in custody, and I only have to pay court costs and maybe transportation. On a felony, it's 270 days to get them from the time they miss court back in custody. So that's why you get bounty hunters to go get them, because you don't want the deadline.
Gotcha.
Because then you're responsible for the whole bond.
I see. Okay.
For instance, I'm looking at a folder on my desk. This guy, he paid me $2,000 to get out of jail. He still has a balance of $1,000, and he skipped out, and I couldn't find him. So I'm going to be looking at $10,000 when I go to court.
Oof.
Because the 270 days have passed.
Oh, man. And the court will collect on that full amount, or is there a...
Yes, yeah, they're going to collect. That's something big. But even like last month, because had corona, some lady from the courts decided, let me go ahead and send out notices of bond forfeit that are done. They were in custody and everything's closed. Well, that's $274.72 for each person that didn't go, and then if it's transportation cost. So, like, I might have spent $7,000 last month just in court costs and transportation.
Dang. Well, that's something they don't talk about. I didn't realize that the court fees apply. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And who has the final say in offering or denying a bond? Is that you or somebody higher up?
It depends on the amount. If it's $100,000, I have to I have different paperwork that I have to do on it. And the insurance company, because I'm backed by an insurance company, so the insurance company requires different paperwork if it's a larger bond.
Okay. And then the insurance company, can say yay or nay, or?
Yeah, they have the option of saying yay or nay. And the guy that I am partners with, he has the option of saying yay or nay. Because if it's a $100,000 bond, I have to get authorization from him. He's a former police officer, so he's a stickler, and he just needs to milk his pig that I said. He needs to know everything right then and there, and where do they live, and I have to do all the research and then send it to him to get his approval. So, which is fine. I mean, we talking about $100,000, and we got to split that. If that $10,000, well, we splitting that, the cost of it. Whatever I lose, when I'm losing, he's losing.
Right. Okay. But
so therefore,
oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
On the $100,000, he wants to know what he's up against. In case this person jumps bond, where are they going? What are their options? If they're just from Liberty County, if they're from here, it shouldn't be hard to find them. But if they were born in Louisiana and now they're living here, well, they should still have something in Louisiana, right, to fall back on. So you got different stuff like that you have to be concerned about.
I see. Okay. So when it's the big money ones, you've got your partner, you've got the insurance underwriters, but if it's a smaller bond, that's something that you can do without approval.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to transition into just like some simple practical questions.
Okay.
What information do you collect from clients, such as like driver's license, proof of income? Like, what are those things that you need?
Driver's license, social. I'm going to have their date of birth, where they work. This is the co-signer. So I need this from both parties. Where you work, how long you've been there, what vehicle do you drive. I need the license plate, the year, make, and model. What else? How long have you been at this address? Nearest relatives, mom, dad, are they living or deceased? Brothers, sisters. I need to know all of that.
And for the purpose of this, just like creating the portfolio so you know where to find people? Or
Yes.
Okay. And what types of technology are you using? So like databases, websites, what does that look like?
Okay. I use to keep track of my customers. I use a thing called Bond Tracker. You may hear Capterra and different names of different companies. I use Bond Tracker. Then we have I have a jail report that I can click on and see who's in jail today, who got arrested today. So I need that. VineLink, if I can't get in touch with somebody, then I can run them through VineLink to see if they're in custody somewhere. I use public data, so I can look up to see if this is your last address, or do you have anything in your name, that kind of stuff, because on public data it gives you different options of stuff that you can ask, what their criminal history looks like, and driver's license. It's a lot of information there. Who all lives in the household? It'll give you that too.
Dang, wow. And there was the one you said that I haven't heard anything about. What is Bond Tracker?
Bond Tracker is a program that, I was saying, oh, darling, must have not updated this.
Mm-hmm.
I can go in, all the information you were asking me, I can go in and look, and it's all there. No questions asked. It's going to have the arrest date, phone number, social, driver's license, whatever that SPIN number was, date of birth, mailing address, phone number, co-signer, and then when I'm looking at it, it'll tell me in general, just that was the general information. Then I'll have a tab that has bonds, click on that. It'll tell me what bonds you have. It'll tell me how much the bonds were, and then you also put their court dates in there. You have any notes, the check-in. It's a lot of different things that you can do that you can see through it. See on Bond Tracker, and you can close folders out. So you finish with them. You can pull up all your active clients and see who the active clients. You get to see how much money they owe, their payment plan, whatever they were scheduled to pay. So all of that information is in Bond Tracker.
Wow. So that's nice. So rather than looking through this cabinet and folder application, everything is just right there.
Yes.
Okay. Very cool. And how often do you have to check in with your clients about making a payment? Do they call you? Do you call them? How does that work?
If they don't, I have a lady. That's what she does. She has other duties, but she's in charge of collections. So, but most of the time, people will call in their payments. But they're going to call in, give you a credit card number and information, tell you how much they want to take off, how much they're paying, and we'll take a picture of it and send it to them. If they, so they'll see their receipt and the balance. What was the question?
How often? So does everyone have the same schedule, or is it customized for each client?
It's customized for each one, because if you tell me that you can pay $100 a month, that's what I expect you to pay. If you tell me you can pay $100 every 2 weeks, that's what I expect you to pay. So I really ask the customer, what can you afford to pay once a week, every other week, or once a month? So you're choosing your payment. You're choosing it. So this is a choice you made. And sometimes I'll have to say, no, I'm going to have more than that, because your case will be over before you get paid out.
I see. Okay. And do you think, like, most of the time it's the defendant themselves paying, or it's co-signers paying?
Anybody they can get to pay.
Okay.
Most kind of client is the defendant.
Got you. But as long as that payment comes in, you're not really concerned about
where it came from.
Got it. And then what about upcoming court dates? Is it something you call people about weekly, or just 2 days before, or how does that work?
No. As soon as I get a docket, I call the people on the docket. And the day before, it's a courtesy call. I don't have to, because I've already notified you, but it's a courtesy call that we do. And just say, this is Siobhan. I'm calling to remind you that you have court tomorrow. What court it's in, what time, and that kind of stuff.
Got it. Okay. And I'm wondering, do you ever work with bail agents at other agencies or exchange information?
Well, before we had a change, like if I look in a database, we were all on Bond Tracker. I can see my Harris County office, what they're doing, or I can look in there. I got a person from Harris County, and I want to see if they bonded out through us before, and hit that kind of stuff. So we deal with the other offices, and even if I have a client that I'm looking at him on the computer, and he's still in jail, and I see that one of the other bonding companies has bonded him out for the last 10 years. Now he's calling me. Well, he did something. So I'll call other bonding companies. They'll call us. Okay, why didn't y'all do such and such as bond? And it's because they didn't pay us or whatever. So it's like we call each other to let them know. Okay, no, he's not a good payer. You're gonna be looking for him.
Got it. Okay. So the vibe, you think, is less competitive?
Oh no, we're competitive.
Oh.
We're competitive, most definitely. But you also, since there's only 4 of us here, then you have to share information. And when I say share information, that is like why you got off the bond or what they were doing. You know, you want, as a bondsman, I want to know, why have you been using this person all this time? Now you're coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
Owe them money. then you're going to end up owing me money. So, no, I can't take it unless, if you've been using somebody else, well, I want my money, all of it up front, because they said you didn't pay them. So.
Got it. So as a resource to, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But does the competition ever get ugly? Like, are there stealing of clients or backhanded stuff or nothing like that?
No, because we're so small. The jail is so small. I have to actually, if you say you want to get out of jail, I have to call the jail. The booking officer has to give me the information. Well, once she gives that to you, none of the other bonding companies are going to get. The other 3 bonding companies can't get it. So it's not duplicated. I got them to put a timestamp in the jail, so when I post my bond, in case the person is working doesn't know that I've already gotten the information, we timestamp it, and whoever got there first is the one that gets to post the bond.
I see it. Okay, that's a good system. All right.
And we just got the time clock this year.
You said you got the time clock this year?
Yeah.
Okay. And you've noticed improvements, or?
No, the jail staff is short and untrained. We have one lady that your client will be out probably within 2 hours unless something comes up. The other lady, we just guessing it might be on this shift, it might be on next shift. I can't really give you any information. I don't know because this person is working.
Okay, I see.
And you basically know if the information they're giving you is correct or not, because Friday, the lady that was working gave me incorrect information, but I knew it was incorrect. But whatever she tells me is what I have to put on my paperwork, although it's wrong. And when it gets to the bond office, they're going to be like, this is not right, or whatever. And sometimes they'll ask us, can you have your client come in and re-sign the papers, the stuff. We pretty much get along with everybody, like with the jail, because you're asking for favors a whole lot of times. It's not my job to call a customer in because y'all gave them the wrong information. But I'll do it because when the jail calls, they're not trying to go back to the jail or sign anything. So I'll let my customers come to my office and re-sign if it was an error on bond.
Got it. Okay. And now moving into the closing ones. I don't take up too much of your time. How do you think people perceive the work that you do?
This is a personal opinion. I think we are the best bonding company in town, and that we have the most clientele because it's me and my sister and the other lady that works. We're real close, and we're real nice. Going to take care of you, even if it's not something that has to do with bonds. If you come in here and tell me, Siobhan, I don't know how to fill this paperwork out, it's for Social Security or FEMA house or whatever, we do all of that because you're in a small, uneducated area. So therefore, they know you can come over here and fax. You can come over here because you don't have a computer at home, print out stuff. So we have a good reputation. And if you're in jail, the inmates will tell you, call ASAP. If their name is ASAP, they're gonna get you out as quick as they can. So the inmates really dictate who you call to get out of jail.
I see. And where does that stem from? So you, like, this being a place where not just to get bonds, but the resource, and like, why? Why do you do that?
Because I was in a bad car wreck, and I was trying to figure out the purpose of God leaving me here because it was an accident where I should have been dead. And this is the only thing that I can see that he wants from me is to help those that can't help themselves. I used to have a corner grocery store, a little convenience store. We're talking about we're in the country, so everybody knows everybody. And they're going to come they would come to the store. Can you help me fill out my unemployment? Can you help me fill out these papers? So it's just that they know that we know how to do the paperwork, and we'll help.
Wow.
It's a small town, and everybody knows, black, white, Hispanic, whoever. They know that we'll do whatever it is that we can. It's 2 notaries on site, so you can come get your papers notarized. It's just a lot that we offer that other companies don't. If it was a drug stop and the person, they confiscate the car and nobody's coming to pick them up, they may be from Tennessee, then their family's going to make arrangements for them to get to Tennessee, like buy an airplane ticket or bus ticket. We're going to take them to the bus stop or to the airport, which is in Houston. So we try to take care of our customers.
Right. And I'm wondering, these other 3, I think you said there were 4 in total, so these other 3, are they male? Are they non-black?
The other companies,
Mm-hmm.
all 3 of them are female. One is owned by a male, but it's female work. I'm the only black, and the other 3 are white.
Okay. That's interesting.
And I was asking one lady that works at the jail, why are my bonds forfeited? Why do I'm always getting bond forfeited? She said, well, Siobhan, y'all do the most business. Okay. So they reassure us that we're doing the most business out of here.
Right. Well, you must be doing something right.
We really do try. I mean, and I have a son that's a frequent jail flyer, so he's in and out, and I want, if I were not here, somebody to treat my son right. Now, I'm not getting him out. I'm not bonding him out, but I don't want anybody to mistreat him. You know, if he has the money to get out, he can get out. But as long as you don't have the money, I'm not doing it. I did it probably the first 3 days. The first 3 years, I got him out 3 times. And the other years, he's always in there. He's just there. He's there now. And he's going to tell, I have family that's there. So they're going to tell them, now, call my mama. Well, why are you in here? Because I done messed up too many times. She's not getting me out. It is what it is.
No, I hear y'all say, you sound like my grandma. I have a younger brother who, it's the same story. And, after 3-4 times, it's like, look, we can't keep spending money if...
And the last time I told him, I said, I'm not doing any, when he got out, I said, I'm not doing any more time with you at all. I'm telling you now. So that means when you tell a person you're not doing any more time with them, that means don't call me, don't ask me to put no money on your books, I'm not going to visit, and you don't even have to write me. I'll be here when you get home.
No, I hear you. It sounds tough, but sometimes...
It's hard,
yeah.
But I'm tired. And when he is locked up, like now, I can sleep good at night. I know where he is.
I hear you. I do.
And that's one of the things that I tell people. When the customers come in and they're asking me questions or whatever, I let them know my son is over there, but I'm leaving him. So and a customer may come in and say, I'm not sure. At least let them stay 2 days, so they'll understand that you're not playing with them. If it's a new person, I'll let them get a taste of jail before you just go and get them straight out. And most people, if I recommend that, I don't want to lose any business. No, if you want your child out today, I don't have a problem with it. But I'm telling you what I've been through, and I'll give them my story. So.
And I feel like, see, I would, I'm just listening to you now. I would use your service because you're personable and you're real. And no, I hear you. I hear you. So, what are your thoughts about the current state of bail reform? Do you have any opinions about PRs and risk assessment?
I the risk assessment is low with. I mean, it's very high with the PR bonds. I don't think it's going to work if they went up to all PR bonds because you don't have the staff to keep up with them.
Mm.
So therefore, the ones that get PR bonds, it upsets me because they are selective. They pick and choose. You cannot, for a PR bond, you cannot be, it can't be aggravated or anything, but it's just whether you black or white.
Mm.
That plays a big role in everything here.
Everything, right.
Yeah.
So it's just another way to discriminate, but call some different. Okay.
I was just pulling some offenders off, some past offenders, because I'm looking at a white guy versus a black guy, and I'm looking, and the black guy got 99 years for one dope charge, and the white guy got 2 years, and, you know, come on.
You can't make that add up.
You can't, and you have to kind of look other than this. It's not just this charge. You kind of have to look at the criminal history, but that criminal history is basically the same, all drug charges. So why did the white guy get 2 years and the black guy get 99?
Say number one answer if you ask me.
And so, and both sides I love to death, but that has nothing to do with what's right or wrong. And sometimes I'll go sit in the courtroom, and it's like, you know that officer is lying through his teeth. And it's just, but it's nothing you can do. It's nothing a individual can do. It's nothing they can do. You just have to take out whatever they dishing out. And the judge that gave the 99 years is the same judge that gave the 2 years.
Oof. That hurts me.
But it's so often, and it's just sickening. I just don't know any other way to put it. It's bad. And I see it every day. It happens every day. It happens every day. You can see the difference in the bond amounts because it's online. So when the judge comes, the judge, that individual person, decides how much your bond is going to be. You may have one, like the people that get magistrated here in Liberty. We have Liberty in Cleveland that has a jail, but it's just a small one. Transition jail. They get stopped in Cleveland, they might have to stay overnight. If you have possession of marijuana less than 2 ounces, the judge will make your bond $5,000. If you make it to Liberty to get magistrated, your bond is $1,500.
That's wow.
If you can see on the screen, on the inmate screens, just the difference in the same charge. One person may have, like this weekend, the black guy, he got two $50,000 bonds, normally $100,000. But because we were doing a protest this weekend, the guy got the two $50,000 bonds. That's the only reason why. That's it. Is because we were protesting this weekend. Otherwise, he would have gotten a $100,000 bond or more.
And it just sucks because you shouldn't have to protest just for people to.
Yeah. And I'm looking, my sister keeps track of how many white, how many black, how many Hispanic, and all of that. She was in the military for 21 years. She doesn't have anything else to do. So she'll, like, she has a folder, and she keeps it, putting papers in there like, look, this is just ridiculous, and keeping a track of black versus the whites. I don't know if she still keeps an accurate book, but she had it going because it was just ridiculous. And it's nothing that we can do or say about it because it's so small. I pissed one judge off, and he did just, this is straight up illegal. He set the individual's bond because he thought he was my cousin. We had the same last name. And he told the man, he set 2 misdemeanor bonds for $250,000 and said that ASAP bail bonds, Bond Trahan, or any of its affiliates cannot bond this individual out. That's against the law. You can't discriminate. You cannot, and how do you give a misdemeanor $250,000 bond just to ensure that he can't get out or that bond him out? We have a bail bond board. There are some counties that are not bail bond board counties. This is a bail bond board county, and you have to keep like your bond forfeitures and stuff paid because they will cut you off from writing bonds until you get back in good standing. So they dictate that a person is not in good standing. The judge does not dictate that you can't write a bond. And it wasn't worth to them. And I was telling them it's not worth it because it's going to be too much trouble and it's going to run me out of business because that's how much power that judge has. So you just have to eat, grow, and keep it moving. When I first started, and understand me, this is where I'm from. When I first started, this old white man told me in the courthouse, I said, and he told me, you have no business being in here. And I went off, and a new black attorney told me, Siobhan, come here, because you got me messed up was what I was feeling. And so he said, it's not worth it. It's not worth it because I was really, how do you tell a person you are not supposed to be here? This is a courthouse.
Absolutely.
So it's really like on Facebook, I can't make comments. I can't make comments on other people's messages because the courts watch that. They watch what's going on. You'll see me post, but you won't see me comment because they hold that against you. So you have to. It's a thin line, and I have to keep my mouth shut because it'll affect me in the long run. It'll affect my company.
Right. And I know it's not easy, but I applaud you and your sister for what you do, because,
No, it's not easy, but, you do what you have to do.
Right.
My parents were self-employed, so therefore we grew up knowing how to handle customers, and I've been on a couple of jobs, but most of my life I've been self-employed. So therefore, if you're not good to your customers, you don't eat. So therefore, we got a good understanding in this office. If we plan to eat, we have to do what we have to do. And that's be nice to everybody. I don't care how unnice they were to you, but we're going to treat everybody right.
Absolutely. And to close it out, is there a question that I didn't ask you that you think is important for me to understand what you do, or do you think we?
No, I think we covered it.
Okay.
I did a good job covering the questions.
Well, Siobhan, thank you so much for your time. I know you didn't have to do this, but I appreciate that you did.
Yeah. And if you have any other questions, or if you want sheets showing the different comment, let me know. I'll send you the information. I have no problem with it.
I appreciate that so much. And
Okay.
if I know you said you the nice one, so Darlene might be a challenge, but if you can, you can get her to take out some time to talk to me.
Okay. I'll let her know, and I'll tell her to give you a call.
Okay. Thank you
Okay.
so much. You enjoy the rest
All
of
right.
the night.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Bye.